Bruce Lee first impressed American audiences with his television roles in the mid-1960s. But his real star quality wasn't showcased until years later, in a string of popular movies from the early 1970s. Films that would eventually become the stuff of legend and change the shape of Kung Fu cinema forever.
I don't know of any movie now that holds up to a Bruce Lee film.
I just would watch him on repeat, always, relentlessly.
I could recite probably all his movies, and I haven't even seen him in a while now.
Do you remember what was the first movie you saw?
Fist of Fury.
I watched Fist of Fury recently.
Fist of Fury. It's like early Bruce. You know what I'm saying?
I was probably 12 years old, and my Taekwondo instructor at the time, he lent me a video cassette of The Big Boss.
Probably the most impactful Bruce Lee film for me as a youth was Enter the Dragon.
Enter the Dragon, obviously it's the most notable, most famous one.
And just him kicking ass and taking names, you know?
My favorite is Game of Death. Game of Death is my all-time favorite.
We all know kicking Kareem Abdul in his face, even though you're about 3 feet shorter than him.
I can't imagine what that would have been like to see it in the cinema the first time with an auditorium full of people, and he does that and everybody gasps at the same time.
I wish they would replay that more on TV, because I need to set my TiVo.
Bruce Lee's films became a cultural phenomenon, and each one helped cement his icon status.
I mean, there was nobody like him.
He's the bad boy, he's breaking all the rules. He really brought this, street style, raw edge.
Bruce Lee stole every scene he appeared in because he had an edge above the typical action star. Formerly a drama major at the University of Washington, he was an actor with serious conviction.
Bruce, as an actor, was great.
He took his craft as being an actor very seriously.
And he was a perfectionist.
There's a lot of subtleties in his movies that he was trying to portray.
Just him walking from point A to point B, just the way he walks, you can tell. Don't mess with that dude.
And there would be moments of depth and where you could see what he was thinking, and that there was a soulful quality to the way he worked.
Lee worked hard to hone his acting skills, but the perfectionist in him demanded to learn even more. He wanted to master the entire filmmaking process.
The way he choreographs his fight scenes are just amazing.
The cinematic language that he used was really designed to make the action more enhanced.
It's not just the martial arts, it's the martial arts blended with the camera work. It's acknowledging that the camera work is just as important. You can shoot a great fight, and if you shoot it from the wrong angle, it's going to look terrible.
Lee cared very much about how things looked, so he decided to take control.
He liked the precision, the quality. You better have the cameras ready, because he's going to do it the first time. He understood cinema. He really did.
Bruce Lee would do it all. Transcending the role of actor, he went on to write, choreograph, direct, and produce for film. And his standards were high. From his first starring role to his later work behind the camera, he held tight to a guiding principle: keep it real. This was a major deviation from the Kung Fu films of the past.
Well, originally, when you had martial arts-based films in Hong Kong, they were very fantastic. They usually involved these guys who were mythic warriors that could fly through the air and were incredible swordsmen.
What he really did with martial arts and with action films is he simplified it. There's no gadgets, no one's flying. He made it as real as possible, and that was his philosophy for Kung Fu.
He wanted the movements to be crisp and have a realistic reaction to it. Every time you go flying through the air, as if you got kicked good and hard.
He made it awesome and cool to just be organic, to be real.
The sense of realism that Lee brought to his films had to feel authentic, for this was a man who knew what it was to fight.